नंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन यमुना वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopi Jan Vallabha Giridharidhari Jaya Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopi Jan Vallabha Giridharidhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantadev Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantadev Anantadev Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्य उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी So reading from Canto 4, Chapter 30, text number 2. The title of this chapter is The Activities of the Prachetas. Text 2. Kim barahaspatyeh paratravatha Kaivalyanatha priyaparshvavartinah Asadya devam girisham radriksha Prapuhu param nunam atha Prapuhu param nunam atha prachetasah Kimbarahaspatyeh paratravatha कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छा प्रापुः परं नूनम् अथ प्रचेतसः किं बारहस्पत्येह परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छा प्रापुः परं नूनमथ प्रचेतसः किं बारहस्पत्येह परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं नूनमत प्रचेतसः किं बारहस्पत्येह परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः प्रापुः परं नूनमथ प्रचेतसः किं बारहस्पत्येह परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छया What word meaning skim? What? Barahaspatya. Oh, disciple of Brihaspati. Iha, here. Paratra, in different planets. Va, or. Atha, as such. Kaivalyanatha, to the bestower of liberation. Priya, dear. Parshvavartinaha, being associated with. Asadya, after meeting. Devam, with great demigod. Giri Sham, the Lord of Kailasha hill. Yadrichaya, by providence. Prapuhu, achieved. Param, the supreme. Noonam, certainly. Atha, therefore. Prachetasaha, the sons of Barhishat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. My dear Barahaspatya, what did the sons of King Barhishat, known as Prachetas, obtain after meeting Lord Shiva, who is very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of liberation? Certainly, they were transferred to the spiritual world, but apart from that, what did they obtain within this material world, either in this or in other lives? Purport. All types of material happiness are obtained in this life or in the next life, on this planet or on another. The living entity wanders within this material universe in so many species of life and so many planetary systems. The distress and happiness obtained during the span of life are called Iha, and the distress and happiness obtained in the next are called Paratra. Actually, Lord Mahadev, Shiva, is one of the great demigods within this material world. Generally, his blessings bestowed on ordinary people mean material happiness. The predominating deity of this material world, Durga, is under the control of Lord Mahadev, Girisha. Thus, Lord Mahadev can offer anyone any kind of material happiness. Generally, people prefer to become devotees of Lord Girisha to obtain material happiness. But the Prachetas met the Lord Mahadev by providential arrangement. Lord Mahadev instructed them to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he personally offered a prayer. As stated in the previous verse, Rudra Gitena, simply by chanting the prayers of Lord Shiva to Vishnu, the Prachetas were transferred to the spiritual world. Sometimes devotees desire to enjoy material happiness also. Therefore, by the arrangement of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee is given chance to enjoy the material world before his final entrance into the spiritual world. Sometimes a devotee is transferred to a heavenly planet, to Janaloka, Maharloka, Taploka, Siddhaloka, and so on. However, a pure devotee never aspires any kind of material happiness. The pure devotee is consequently transferred to Vaikuntha Loka, which is described here as Param. In this verse, Vidura asks Maitreya, the disciple of Brihaspati, about the different achievements of Prachetas. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Translation once again. My dear Barahaspatya, what did the sons of King Barhishat, known as the Prachetas, obtain after meeting Lord Shiva, who is very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of liberation? Certainly, they were transferred to the spiritual world. But apart from that, what did they obtain within this material world, either in this or in other lives? So this is a very, very glorious question by a glorious student to a glorious teacher. For any kind of discussion to happen, you need a person who is wanting to hear or asking questions, and you need a person who is willing to impart knowledge, or you need a teacher. Now, in order to have this proper flow of conversation, the questions asked have to be relevant. And before that, submissive oral reception has to be given to the speaker. The speaker has to be qualified and the audience also has to be qualified. Without these qualifications, it is very difficult to discuss anything which has some value. Now here we see Vidura. He is the son of Vedavyas, a great personality, incarnation of Yamaraj, pure devotee of Lord Krishna. And he has only one desire: how to extract the essence of all Vedic literatures, how to extract the essence of devotional service by hearing from devotees the pastimes of other devotees. And another person is Barahaspatya. In one of the purports in the 4th canto, Prabhupada says that it appears that Brihaspati was a Mayavadi. That's why when he took birth in Chaitanya Leela as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was continuing to be a Mayavadi. Impersonalist. So, when you will read the 11th canto, how Uddhava is discussing with Lord Krishna, and Krishna is telling Uddhava Gita, then Aila Gita, then Bhumi Gita, and then so many things. At that time, Yadrichaya, by the will of Providence, Maitra Muni also comes there. And Krishna, in the purport, it has been highlighted that Krishna has told various things just to make Maitreya Muni come on a proper standard, come on the proper platform of pure devotional service. And Krishna, through that conversation, speaking indirectly to Uddhava and directly to Maitreya, speaking directly to Uddhava and indirectly to Maitreya, after bringing him to the proper platform of pure devotional service, he gives him the charge that later on when my devotee Vidura comes, you impart him this knowledge which I have given you. So Maitreya is not an ordinary person. He is a disciple of Brihaspati, meaning he has the topmost knowledge of material world and material sciences and spiritual life with him already. Of course, he was lacking in the topmost devotional understanding, which by the mercy of Uddhava and Lord Krishna, by hearing their conversation, he has achieved that also. So, son of, disciple of Brihaspati, disciple of Krishna, very qualified person. And any conversation which happens between two pure devotees is worth hearing. Mad chitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So the devotees of the Lord, they only get together and ask this only. What did that devotee say when the Lord appeared? Or what did this devotee do when he met the other devotee? Or what did the Lord do with this devotee and what did this devotee do with the Lord? These are the only discussions. So we see the same philosophy or the same parampara is being followed here. He is addressing with the proper etiquette to Maitreya Muni, and Vidura is asking him that what happened after that. Now you carefully see the questions which Vidura is asking is only for the benefit of the people around him. Why does Vidura need to ask? He is a liberated soul. He is going back to Godhead. He is a liberated soul. He is going back to Godhead. Why does he need to know that what did Prachetas achieve after being benedicted by the Lord? क्या रखा है उसमें? Anybody can say, Prabhuji, I am like detached from this material world. I don't want to know anything about now. I have my ticket back to Godhead fixed. Let me go. But why did Vidura bring up this topic? Because it is very essential for the people of the world to know that a person who has received the mercy of the Lord, how does he sit, how does he walk, how does he talk, how does he behave, and in what circumstances he leads his life. Same kind of question Arjuna also asked in Bhagavad Gita. So just for the good of the world, that's why these conversations become very important. Because these conversations are not mutual conversations. Not two people asking, if in that bush will I find Krishna? Or if I go in this, if I eat this prasad, will I get the mercy? This is like personal, private talks. But these are not that private talks. These are some kind of talks which are meant for the public welfare. Everybody will be benefited. So therefore, in the future verses, when Maitreya Muni will start revealing what benediction the Lord gave, why he gave those benedictions, what was the result of that benedictions, And after that, how did Prachetas behave in that kind of atmosphere? And how Prachetas ultimately remembered Krishna and went back to Godhead. We will learn all these things. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, all types of material happiness are obtained in this life or in the next life on this planet or another. The living entity wanders within the material universe in so many species of life and so many planetary systems. The distress and happiness obtained during the span of life is called Iha, and the distress and happiness obtained in the next life is called Paratra. So it is for sure that in every life we have a quota of distress and happiness. And you don't need to work very hard to get that distress or happiness. Even if you just exist, your quota of distress will come to you. Even if you just normally lead your life, that the quota of happiness will come to you. So therefore, there is no need of extra endeavor to get anything in life. Just follow the guidance of the spiritual master and just lead your life according to the species which you have been assigned, and then distress of and happiness will come to you. There's very nice verses in the Vedic scriptures which talk about this. I'm just trying to recollect that verse. Daivala labdhena santosha atmavicharanachanam swadharmacharanam shaktya vidharmachanivartanam Daival labdhena santosha atmavicharanachanam. The science of working is being explained by Kapil Muni. Swadharma acharanam shaktya. First, by the guidance of Guru and Krishna, understand what is your dharma, swadharma. I am a particular soul, I have some inclinations, I have some past conditionings. Based on that, what should be my swadharma? I am an accountant. Why am I wasting my time playing cricket? I am a cook. What am I doing in the ISRO office? So, you have to understand what is your swadharma. Just because Sharmaji's son has done doesn't mean that Mishraji's son also should do it. You cannot be a DBPS, do because Papa said. You have to be a DBGS, do because Guru said. Because Guru knows you. He knows. He is a concerned unaffected third party who is not going through the turmoil which you are going, but he is clairvoyant enough to understand what is right for you because he has observed you. So, Swadharma, he will help you understand that, Prabhuji, this is your Swadharma. And then you have to act according to that. How much Shaktya? 100% only you have to give. Not 90%, not 110% or 120%. Shaktya. Don't break your head too much also. Try your best, that's all. Do not compromise the time which you have slotted for reading Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna and serving the Lord and the devotees. Don't compromise that. Don't think that if you work 4 hours extra every day for 2 years, then your fortune will change. No. There is a statement, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Wrong statement. The way you work, whatever you do, your quota of happiness and distress is fixed. So we have to understand that I have to work in such a way, Shaktya. 100% only I have to give. If I am paid for 8 hours, 8 hours only I have to work. If I am asked to study, I have to study I made a routine that okay, every day I have to, not like one day 14 hours and the next 2 days 1 hour and then, not like that. Consistency we have to give in whatever we are doing, even in devotional service. You have to keep doing devotional service in a prayerful mood every day, consistently in a prayerful mood. And pray to the Lord that when will you reveal yourself to me? Just because the Lord is not revealing you, you can't go on a hunger strike and then for the next 10 days you chant 100 rounds. And then you saw after 10 days, you realize that I can't do anything to force Krishna to give me his mercy. Phek do japmala. Don't chant only after that. This cannot be done. So whatever swadharma acharanam shaktya. Whatever is your potency, based on that you act. Vidharma cha nivartanam. Don't try to think and analyze and understand and judge what is the dharma of others and what they are doing. Let me see what they are doing. No, I have none of my, that's none of my business. Vidharma cha nivartanam. Don't care what others are doing. Daivala labdhena santosha. After this kind of attitude, whatever result comes, be satisfied. Don't be hankering for something which you are not getting, or lamenting for something which you thought you will have and now you don't have. Daivala labdhena santosha. After that, you have to be really happy and satisfied, because whatever you got is the mercy of the Lord. If you got some honor, use it in the service of Krishna. If you got some criticism, take it as mercy of Krishna. Daivala labdhena santosha. Atma vich charanachanam. In this way, keep worshipping the lotus feet of the spiritual master and lead your life. So when you live like this, then in every life there is a quota of happiness and distress which will come to you. You can't do much about it. You have to just go through it. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Iha paratra. The only wisdom which we can use is try to become attached to the lotus feet of Krishna in such a way that there is no paratra. After iha, everything is over. Otherwise, iha paratra, wherever you go, happiness and distress is free. Don't think that if you take birth in the Brahma Loka planet, then there will be no distress. There will be distress. That is why one of the best ways to practice Krishna consciousness and go through iha paratra happiness and distress is just to tolerate it. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshana sukha dukkhadah agama paino anityas tam stitikshasva bharata. Lord Krishna says, just tolerate. Bhagavad Gita is the only book in the world which doesn't say that solve every problem. Bhagavad Gita says tolerate. And a sane man will realize that he also cannot solve every problem. If he thinks that he can solve, he is crazy man. Just because you are smiling and your spouse or your relative becomes unhappy because you are smiling, what can you do? How you can fix this problem? So there are so many things which you can't fix. You have to just go through it. You have to just tolerate. Krishna will put you in a circumstance in which he will put you in a circumstance where through the actions of your own mind and body, or through the actions of others, the last vestiges of enjoyer mentality will be uprooted from your heart. And you can't do anything about it. You have to just go through it. Tam stitikshasva bharata. Just tolerate. Don't complain. If you can fix, you fix. Otherwise, you just tolerate. That is the motto. And that makes you very humble also. It makes you realize that this material world is not a nice place. I should take shelter of Krishna. I should be dependent on him. Ultimately, he decides what needs to be done, what not needs to be done. I have to be under the guidance of my spiritual master and go through the process of Krishna consciousness. So therefore, later on in the purport, Prabhupada says, actually Lord Mahadev Shiva is one of the great demigods within this material world. Generally, his blessings are bestowed on ordinary people, mean material happiness. The predominant deity of the material world, Durga, is under the control of Girisha, Lord Mahadev. Lord Mahadev can offer anyone any kind of material happiness. Generally, people prefer to become devotees of Lord Girisha to obtain material happiness, but Prachetas met the Lord Mahadev by providential arrangement. Yes. So what kind of people get attracted to Lord Shiva? This is the point of discussion here. Prabhupada has made it very clear that generally those people who want material happiness, they go to Lord Shiva. Why? Because Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. You ask him anything, he'll give you. Therefore, demons have asked Lord Shiva his own wife also. And Lord Shiva has given also sometimes. So Lord Shiva is like that. He has a very difficult job description. His job description is his job description is to give association to people in the mode of ignorance. And by his association, he has to uplift them to the mode of passion and goodness so that they can come to the lotus feet of Hari. There are some people who have rejected Hari, who hate Hari, who do not want to associate with even the devotees of Hari or the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Hari. So what is the hope for such people? There is no hope. Therefore, there is Lord Shiva who has taken this responsibility that I will give them my association. Earlier, Lord Shiva used to wear very nice clothes. But then the ghosts, hobgoblins, they were feeling disconnected. Kya hai? This is our leader. Then he decided that, just like Gandhi decided, I have to be half naked to lead the people of India, because the people of India are poor. So similarly, Lord Shiva came in an appearance, or took up an appearance which was very much relatable with these ghosts, hobgoblins and the people in the mode of ignorance. You will see naturally the people of mode of ignorance, naturally, without any extra endeavor, they will be attracted to Lord Shiva. They will not be attracted to Hari. Why? Because to get attracted to Lord Hari, you need to be in the mode of goodness, minimum. So they will see Lord Shiva, okay, he is not having bath, theek hai, I am also not having bath. Lord Shiva is not putting a straight tilak but a flat tilak, I also want to do that. Lord Shiva is also drinking, I am also drinking. What he is drinking, Krishna Prema, but let me drink something else. That also, basically they'll get attracted. Sometimes he is motionless, sometimes he is dancing. He is a family man also, at the same time he is renounced also. Nobody can tell him also, and everybody tells everything to him also. So much relatability is there. So Lord Shiva, what he does, he hangs around with them, or he lets them hang around him. And because he is constantly absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So these ghosts, hobgoblins and people in the mode of ignorance, when they receive his association, when they serve him, they get uplifted. So basically Lord Shiva cheats people into God consciousness or Hari consciousness by his association. However, Lord Shiva, just like preaching is always a risky task. So Lord Shiva also gets into some risks sometimes. Sometimes people take benedictions from him and want to kill him only. So just like when a preacher puts himself into some kind of a risk for the purpose of preaching Krishna consciousness, Krishna gives his mercy to that person. When Krishna sees here is a hopeless person, he has taken risk for my service. If I don't give him my mercy, he'll mess it up. So Krishna gives his mercy to him. So similarly, when Krishna sees Lord Shiva getting into difficult circumstances, he reclaims, he saves the situation. In Krishna book, in 10th canto, you'll read there are certain situations like this. The best thing about Lord Shiva is that he is completely sold out for Krishna. You ask him that, okay, you have to become a woman to see Krishna. He said, okay, no problem. Tell me where to dip myself in Vrindavan, in which kund I have to, and become a woman. I don't mind having a woman's body. I don't mind going and being scolded by Mother Yashoda to take darshan of Krishna. I don't mind becoming a Kshetrapal. I don't mind doing any menial service. I don't mind sitting on a, what was that, swan to go and see the pastimes of Gaurang Mahaprabhu. He's completely sold out for Krishna. So his intentions are very right. However, because his intentions are very right and because he is a pure devotee, so he is childlike. Therefore, he is called Bholenath. So people try to think that they can get whatever they want from him, and they approach him. Give me this, give me that. And Lord Shiva is least interested in such kind of people. Yeah. So, in the 4th canto only, when Daksha Prajapati cursing, counter-cursing game was going on, when Lord Shiva was cursed that henceforth you will not have any share in the Yagya Bhag, any share in the sacrifices, Prabhupada explains in the purport, Lord Shiva became happy from inside. At least I don't have to associate with these materialistic demigod and demigod society and their kitty parties going on. Lord Shiva really didn't want to get along, going with these demigods to various places, getting Yagya Bhag. Lord Shiva just wants to remain in the association of 4 Kumaras and other pure devotees of the Lord, constantly chant Hare Krishna. So Lord Shiva has a very different mentality. However, when somebody approaches him with a material desire, he just gives them his association, probably sometimes in darshan also, gives them the super qualification of being known as devotees of Lord Shiva. Because Krishna has told, Aham bhakta paradhino na swatantri vadhuja sadhu virgrastar hridayam bhakter bhakta janapriya. Those who are devotees of my devotees are also very dear to me. So he makes everybody dear to Lord Krishna by allowing them to be his devotee. And then when they come for some benediction, he says, "Theek hai, leke jao jaldi. Take and go away, don't disturb me." But anybody who approaches Lord Shiva with sincerity, he makes them devotees of Krishna. We have the example of a Brahmana who was thrown out of his house by his wife because he was very poor. So he started worshipping Lord Shiva, that please tell me, or please give me the most precious thing in this world, after having obtained which I don't need anything and I'll be rich enough for the rest of my life. He did not ask specifically for any material benediction. And the highest thing in this world is Krishna. So Lord Shiva saw the sincerity in the heart of this person. He was not having some wicked desires like the other demons and the other materialistic devotees. So Lord Shiva immediately told him, go to Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan and ask him, he will give you. And then you see, he very nicely cultivated that devotee to pure Krishna consciousness. Even Mother Saraswati, we see in the case of Digvijay Pandit, Keshav Kashmiri. She also gave her audience to Keshav Kashmiri and told her how to surrender to Lord Chaitanya. Why? Because he was sincere. But those who are not sincere, they have to go through this cycle of iha paratra, happiness and distress. So Lord Shiva helps them by giving them whatever benediction they want, so that by the mercy of his wife Durga, they will very soon realize that whether iha paratra, happiness or distress, they cannot be happy in this material world unless they ask for the lotus feet of Hari. See, if a soul is mad enough to, suppose I was at one point of time very mad to get a video game. I used to go to my friend's house to play. Summer vacation was going on. I started going after breakfast, after lunch, before dinner, and after dinner. So very soon, the mother of my friend, she threw me out. In your association, my son is also getting spoiled. So at that point of time, the only goal of my life was video game. I went and cried in front of my mother, I want video game. I cried in front of my father, I want video game. So at that point of time, if my father wouldn't have purchased and given me a video game, today I wouldn't have had this realization that video game doesn't give happiness. It only gives frustration. So Lord Shiva is doing that job. I'm not saying that in order to realize this, you really need all desires fulfilled, but this is the easiest way. You're thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, you're thinking this flat will give me happiness, you're thinking this bike will give me happiness. But when you get it and when you realize that, oh, there is no happiness in this, that is mercy of Krishna. So Lord Shiva is that agency by which materialistic people get whatever they want. And then they realize that there is no happiness in this. And therefore they become devotees of Krishna either in iha or in paratra, either in this life or next life. And Lord Shiva has a very nice role to play in that. But the Prachetas met the Lord Mahadev by providential arrangement. Prachetas didn't go to Lord Shiva for some material benediction. They were on the task of executing austerities to become qualified enough to enter Grihastha ashram, and they had pure desires, they were devotees of the Lord. And whenever there is somebody sincerely trying to progress in Krishna consciousness, Krishna makes all arrangements. So by the inspiration of Krishna, Prabhupada also says in the purports that by the desire of Krishna and by the inspiration of Krishna, Lord Shiva appeared there to give Prachetas his association in the form of Rudra Gita, where he revealed his own personal meditation on the Lord. And towards the end of Rudra Gita, you will see Lord Shiva is benedicting them that may all your desires get fulfilled. And purport Prabhupada is writing, this means that Prachetas had some material desires also at that point of time. So after listening to Rudra Gita and after practicing 10,000 years of austerity, they became purified. After that, they didn't have material desires. However, any desire of a devotee, the Lord likes to fulfill. So when the Lord appears, He appreciates. The 8th verse of this chapter is the glorious verse, which talks about how the Lord says that I am very pleased with you by your unity. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada will say that real unity means being united in our endeavors to please Krishna and not letting our ego interfere with the purpose which we have. This is called unity. This is also called humility. I want to do a service, I want to do it in this way. But Prabhuji, I want to do this service, same service, but I don't want to do it in this way. Both of you Prabhujis, please keep quiet. I am another Prabhuji who wants to do the same service in this way, and I'm pretty sure when you do it in this way, only then Krishna will be pleased. So these are 3 different Prabhujis who want to do the same service in 3 different ways. But humility means not letting our ego come in the way of our purpose. Our purpose is to please Krishna and Guru. And that is real unity. And this is what Srila Prabhupada meant when he said, if you want to love me, cooperate with each other despite differences. That means he said that be united. That means he pointed towards the 8th verse of the 30th chapter of the 4th canto of Bhagavatam, where the Lord is appreciating. And I'm very happy. 10 brothers staying together for 10,000 years. Unbelievable. And what they are doing? It's not that they are just sitting around, sleeping around. No. 10,000 years means they are helping each other in their consciousness. Tell me what problem you are facing in your japa. Oh yeah, this problem, let me help you. And then the same brother going to other person and asking, okay, how can I help you? Okay, this is the problem. So 10,000 years they stayed together. Despite differences, they were united in their desire to please Krishna. This is called sadhana in harmony. This is called preaching in harmony. This is called Krishna consciousness in harmony. And this is called Sankirtan. This pleases Lord Chaitanya very much. It's very easy to go outside of the association of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya with a desire to do Nirjan Bhajan. Go to some dham, purchase some flat, or use your contacts and get in somewhere. Anyways, in places like Jagannath Puri and Mayapur, Vrindavan, nobody can remain hungry also. So, just lie down somewhere and don't let anybody disturb you and chant 64 rounds. Anybody who thinks like that will only end up thinking about money and women. More purifying is to stay in the association of Lord Chaitanya and remain in the Sankirtan movement and let it purify you. This is an austerity. To stay in the association of devotees is an austerity. Because Krishna will work through the devotees on your heart and on your anarthas, and he will purify you. So, Lord Mahadev instructed them to worship Krishna, and he personally offered a prayer. This is a great spiritual opulence. When we have someone in our life who himself is prayerful and teaches us how to pray also, nothing is greater than that. We have Harikshit Prabhu. He keeps praying and he teaches us how to pray also. So please understand that nobody will do this. Because every Vaishnav by nature, he is very hesitant. By nature, he is very humble. They will not think that what I am doing is something very great. So let me tell the whole world, look how I pray, look how I chant. No. Vaishnav is very humble. And if still a Vaishnav teaches us, okay, look at, like Lord Shiva is telling, look, this is my consciousness. This is how I meditate. This is how I pray. It is coming out of deep, sheer compassion. And anybody who receives such kind of compassion, it is 100% sure that they have got the mercy of Lord Krishna. And after receiving this, if they are not able to value it or utilize it or inculcate it, that is misfortune. So, Lord Shiva has personally taught that how to pray. As stated in the previous verse, Rudra Gitena, simply by chanting prayers to Lord Shiva to Vishnu, the Prachetas were transferred to the spiritual world. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that you declare that my devotee shall never perish. So sometimes, not sometimes, the Lord always stresses the words of his devotee, stresses upon that whatever my devotee has said has to come true. So one pure devotee has told that make Bangalore a Krishna conscious city. So it is Lord's task to make it come true. And our task is somehow to get involved in it. Our task is not to make Bangalore a Krishna conscious city, only Lord Chaitanya can do that. Our task is to be involved in the Sankirtan movement. Somehow, Lord Chaitanya, when he is doing it, he should be able to see, he is involved, theek, aa jao. He is also involved, tum bhi aa jao. Everybody come, let's all go back to Godhead. Let's make it a Krishna conscious place. So because a pure devotee like Lord Shiva told that anybody who chants the Rudra Gita will attain the mercy of Krishna and the association of Krishna. So just to make Satyam Vidhatum Nija Bhritya Bhashitam, whatever Lord Shiva had told, just to make it true, and Krishna took it as his personal response. They have chanted Rudra Gita. How can they stay in material world? Dispatch request. So, they were transferred to this. Prabhupada is writing simply by chanting the Rudra Gita, the Prachetas were transferred to the spiritual world. Sometimes devotees desire to enjoy, now the real point of the purport, sometimes devotees desire to enjoy material happiness also. Therefore, by arrangement of Krishna, the devotee is given chance to enjoy in the material world before his final entrance into the spiritual world. Why Krishna does this? To make him fully realize that these desires, they are not going to help you. Only my lotus feet is going to help you. If he doesn't do this, and while going back to Godhead, somewhere if he is thinking, if that Apsara if I could have just, sat, have a coffee with her, then life would have been, I'm a devotee of Lord Vishnu, I want to go in Vaikuntha, but little bit. So to bring people on the Anyabhilashita Shunyam platform, Krishna does various things. Sometimes he gives the Samam Bonam or gives the experience of fulfilling all desires in a dream and nullifies it, or sometimes he makes them go through it and nullifies it. Whatever he wants, he does. But it is necessary to experience. It is necessary to come to this conclusion that apart from the lotus feet of Krishna, there is nothing else which is going to actually help me. The sooner we come to this conclusion, the better it is. So, Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna did this with Prabhuji. In the next verses, we will see how Lord Krishna gives benediction. A few days ago, a conversation was going on that pure devotees are being asked to enjoy full material enjoyment. How to understand this? They don't have desire to enjoy. That is the point. They don't have desire to enjoy. So Lord Krishna puts them in that situation to show the entire world that look my devotees. They are in the pinnacle of material enjoyment, but they are detached. They don't want it. Another reason, look, my devotees are in the pinnacle of material enjoyment, but still look at their Shuddha Acharan, look at their behavior. Everybody should follow that. Lord Krishna does it. Whenever somebody becomes advanced in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna puts them in various situations just to teach the world. Either he'll put them in a distressful situation, or he'll put them in a materialistic, opulent situation. It is his desire. Sudama was put in a very, very materially opulent situation. It is said that his opulence on planet Earth was greater than Indra. After giving little bit paddy rice. What is it called? Poha rice. Chipped rice, to Krishna. So when Sudama was put in that situation, the whole universe was looking at him. Oh, this is how a devotee behaves. He's not attached to anything. So nice. We are thinking in Swarga, we are the residents of Swarga, we are thinking, because we are in Swarga, so we cannot become pure devotees. But look at this Sudama. He is in a place which is higher than Swarga, but he is rendering pure devotional service every day. So therefore, I should improve myself. Similarly, Krishna puts some devotees into a very hellish kind of situation, like Prahlad. Worse than hell. All the 25 kinds of hell which are mentioned, Prahlad is going through those experiences. And people of hellish planetary systems are thinking that because we are all the time, so much pain, so we cannot chant Hare Krishna. But when they hear about Prahlad, they realize, oh, it's possible. That's why it is said, Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati swarga apavarga narkeshu api tulyartha darshanam. A devotee, wherever he is, in whichever circumstances he is, he sees everything equally. All the circumstances are equal. Swarga apavarga narkeshu. Heavenly planetary systems, earthly planetary systems, lower planetary system. Why everything is equal for him? Because by the mercy of Krishna, he has attained a position, he has attained a kind of existence, a state of existence where whenever and wherever, whenever and wherever he holds his japmala, he always, without disturbed, chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So when we come in that consciousness, that whether it is morning or afternoon or night, happiness or distress, whenever we hold our japmala, we are always sincerely chanting Hare Krishna, mind not diverting here and there. That means we should understand we have started to make progress. And when we get into that state of existence, we should know that now Krishna is going to put me in various circumstances just to teach me a lesson and teach others also a lesson. In normal language, that stage is called Nishtha. You have Nishtha. So, pure devotees of the Lord, they are put in various circumstances. Pandavas were whole life they were in poverty, but when Maharaj Yudhishthir was doing the Rajasuya Yajna, the kind of opulence which was displayed, even demigods were coming and seeing, oh Bapre, this is so much opulence. And they saw the detached behavior of Yudhishthir. And so therefore the Lord blesses, you enjoy. Let not the world think that all devotees of Krishna always suffer. The whole world should see that devotees of Krishna enjoy also. So it is up to the Lord. Whatever he wants, he will do. So therefore, sometimes a devotee is transferred into heavenly planet, Janalok, Maharlok, Tapalok, Siddhalok and so on. However, a pure devotee never aspires any kind of material happiness. It is Krishna's responsibility to bring that devotee to this consciousness that I don't want anything. When Srila Prabhupada was quitting his body, they asked him, Kya iksha hai? And Srila Prabhupada said, Kuch iksha nahi. So we all have to come to that stage of Kuch iksha nahi, and that is only possible by the mercy of Krishna. So he will do various kinds of operations on us in the association of devotees to make us realize that. And Lord Shiva plays a very important role in helping us realize those things also through his benedictions. The pure devotee is consequently transferred to Vaikuntha Loka, which is described here as Param. In this verse, Vidura asks Maitreya, a disciple of Brihaspati, about the different achievements of the Prachetas. So see, everybody in this world is in a very material consciousness. What is in it for me? Kya milega? So sometimes Bhagavatam is, of course, it is meant for Paramahamsas, and the more liberated you become, the more you relish Srimad Bhagavatam. But Bhagavatam, through the pastimes of various devotees, attracts everybody. It has something in it for everybody. Somebody is looking for a son, okay, read Prithu Maharaj pastime. Somebody is looking for money, okay, read this pastime. So when these people with so many desires, or no desires, or desire for liberation, all kinds of people, when they are hearing these pastimes, they feel, yeah, there is something in it for me. Let me also chant Rudra Gita. Let me also become like that. Let me also do like that. So in that way, you see, it's all encompassing. It attracts everybody. Bhagavatam has something for everybody. But the more advanced we become, we realize that Bhagavatam has so much to offer, unlimited things to offer. Okay? So on that note, I would conclude today's discussion. It is a very, very interesting series of verses coming, where we will learn how Prachetas got, and then how they conducted themselves in the atmosphere of those things which Krishna provided, which ultimately after getting purified they did not want. We will see how Lord Krishna comes and appreciates, and what he appreciates and why he appreciates. And we'll see what happens to them, what happens to Prachetas after that, how Krishna makes arrangement for the marriage of the Prachetas, and how in one of the verses even Lord Krishna is called as Puranjan. So living entity is forced in this material world forced to stay in this material world eternally because of his material desires. So he's Puranjan. But out of his unconditional, unmotivated, uninterrupted love for the living entity, Krishna is also staying in the heart of the living entity and within the atoms since the time the living entity is staying. So living entity is also Puranjan and Krishna is also Puranjan. But Krishna's Puranjan nature is out of love and living entity's Puranjan nature is out of lust. So all that discussions are awaiting. A great spiritual wealth is awaiting us in the next verses. Any questions or comments? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद।